Good afternoon and welcome to Borders Rugby TV. Well, after 2 weeks of glorious sunshine, you join us at a rather damp Philip Hall for our first border derby of the Premiership between Selkirk and Jedforest. Unfortunately, both teams are still on nil point in the league after failing to secure a win in their past 2 matches. So today's game is a vital one for both, not only to get those crucial league points, but also, more importantly, to get some self-confidence and some motivation to take them on for the rest of the season. Here with your highlights, it's Dale Clancy and Scott Tomlinson.
And Gary Munro is the player waiting patiently to get play underway. The referee, Callum Worsley, blasts the whistle and we are underway here at Philip Hawke as the ball is kicked just towards the 10-metre line. It's not went the full distance, so it's going to start with a scrum put into Selkirk, who are going to line up with Luke Petty, Fraser Eason and Jake Milburn, who's making his first start in the front row, Connor Ward and Andrew Cochrane in the second row, with a back row of Donald Nicholl, Scott McClyman and Andrew McComb. In the backs, Aaron McComb and Cam Eason are the halfbacks, Josh Welsh and Finlay Whelans on the wings, with Nixon and Grant Sooty in the centres, with Callum Anderson at fullback. The Jed team, Ryan Briggs, Jamie Ferguson and Harry Meadows in the front row, with Captain Clark Skeldon packing down alongside Ben Howe, with Wardrop, Howe and Jack Howe that is, and Blake Roth in the back row. Bambrick and Munro halfbacks, with Shearer, Gibb and Elder on the wings, Cranston and Walker in the centres, with Mark Glenn, the youngster, in at fullback for Jedforest. It's a strong scrum there from Selkirk a minute into this game, and they managed to march back the visitors from Riverside Park. They win the penalty, and it's been a bit of a ropey start for Jedforest. Scott Tomlinson, who's joining me on commentary this afternoon, and it's allowed Selkirk an early opportunity to put a bit of pressure on the visitors.
Yeah, a poor kick-off by Gary Munro, and then it came to a scrum in the middle of the park there, and already Petty's put Briggs, his opposite number, under huge pressure in the scrum. And obviously, you know, Paulo Ferreira must have called off last night, and that's going to be a big miss for Jed in the Jed Park, who, let's be honest here, the battle's going to be up front. Who's got to get parity within this game?
Fraser Eason to throw into the line-out, first time starting in the first team alongside his brother Cameron Eason, and they'll be hoping to try and cement their jerseys here as he finds his target. He packs down at the back of that driving maul, tries to nudge his shoulders in a little bit, but Blake Roth is just swimming through, trying to put a bit of pressure on the Selkirk hooker. It starts to splinter slightly, but Fraser Eason still has the ball in hand. Now McComb finds Petty just a little bit wider, looking to try and exploit that 10 channel, makes some inroads. It's been picked up by Scott McClyman, who makes a couple of yards but has been dragged to ground by Jedforest. Into the hands now of Nixon, out to Cameron Eason, wrapping round the back, who brings Callum Anderson into play. He's looking to try and go round it a long way. He's almost bundled his way over the try line, and he does just that, and it's a brilliant blistering start from Selkirk, and they score through their fullback Callum Anderson. He had a player outside him but opted to go alone, and he gets the first score, and that's as easy as you like off the line out. Yeah,
it was almost too easy, wasn't it, from a Jed point of view, but good strong running with Callum Anderson there on the field. He broke a couple of tackles and scored in the corner, but a great start for Selkirk.
Jamie Ferguson now to throw into the line out. Jedforest 8 metres shy of the Selkirk line, and taking his time to line it up and get his arrows straight, and it was almost flat back by Selkirk there, and the ball has gone loose, and the referee has just signalled that Scott McClyman was infringing at that line out, so the free kick is going to go the way of Jedforest, and this is going to be an interesting decision based on their earlier scrum. It's looking like they're going to tap and go. The hand hoisted from Bambrick, the forwards flood round the right hand side, and Blake Roth carries forward towards the uprights. He's been dragged to ground a couple of metres shy as Bambrick now crouches towards the ball and feeds the on-rushing Ben Howe. And they pick round the corner and go again. Jedforest a lot more composed, putting pressure on the hosts here as Roth carries, and he's almost dragged back there by Fraser Eason. Good defence from the hooker in close quarters, a couple of metres shy of the line, and now Jedforest go again, look to try and sneak their way over the whitewash, and they get the ball back on their side. The Selkirk defenders having to get round the corner, but Jedforest are able just to sneak under there and get the score, and it looks like it has been the replacement Elliot Lauder to get the score. Gary Munro adds the extras, and it is Jedforest who come up trumps and manage to escape their own 22. Dan Wardrop carries now into the hands of Jamie Ferguson, who's taken the ball forward a little bit more and does well to evade the clutches of Luke Petty. Now Munro, sizing up his options, opts to just duck the shoulder and go alone, and he's running into a little bit of traffic, a little bit of trouble, and the referee is saying this has been stolen by Selkirk, and the penalty is going to go the way of the suitors. Cameron Eason centre field, just outside the 22, strokes it, and he's managed to split the kindling this time. He was unsuccessful with his earlier attempt, but now he's able to get Selkirk back in front. It's a scrappy play there. It probably wasn't the best executed high up and under that you'll ever see, but it has come back on a Selkirk side as Eason now feeds Nixon. Nixon then just chips it over and asks Josh Welsh to try and chase this, and if this stays in, he could try and make this a foot waste. Brilliant footwork to give it to Grant Sooty. He's not able to find his feet, and now it's a foot race to get the ball down, and can Grant Sooty get there? And if that is a score, that could be one of the most ingenious bits of play that you're going to see linking up between Josh Welsh, who just dribbled it back in field, and we'll hear what the referee's got to say. But it was great play, just a couple of kicks in there from Nixon, one back in field from Welsh, but Sooty did well to keep his balance and dribble it over the line.
Yeah, it was great play by Ross Nixon as well. It obviously had the understanding to realise where the space was. A nice little chip over the top, and very clever play by Josh Welsh. Josh was a great standoff as well. He's a good rugby player. Understanding, had awareness to realise that kick it across the park to Sooty, and Sooty had the speed to get there. I wouldn't like to have made that call if I was a referee though, of who was to win that foot race.
The conversion attempt is successful there from Cameron Eason, who just launches it with a low trajectory in between the uprights. From the kick-off, it was spilled there by Donald Nicholl, who tried to rewind the clock and do exactly the same as he did earlier on in the game. Now Meadows trying to break free through the flailing arms of the Selkirk defence as Munro just spills the ball into the hands of Shearer Gibb. He goes one way, then goes the other, but he just ends up running straight into the arms of Josh Welsh, who takes his opposite man down as Blake Roth now comes at the acute angle back towards the contact area, looking to just suck in that Selkirk defence. Big carry again there from Dan Wardrop, the referee, signalling that there's a high tackle there. Free ball to play with for Jedforest. Can they get the ball through the hands? Glenn breaking free, and now he's going to just hair his way and wheel his way towards the line, and he's just dived over the whitewash, and it's an instant reply again for Jedforest. And the pendulum in this game is just swinging one way then the other, but the afterburners from the fullback was impressive there.
Well, you've just seen Mark Glenn at his absolute best. He lit up the 7th Circuit last year at under 18s. He's came up here a year early this year, so he's, technically he's only 17, just turned 18, and he just came off that left foot there now, created the space and just flew through the gap. He is a dangerous young player, and it's great to see.
Munro with a conversion attempt just to the right hand side of the uprights, a couple of metres inside the 22. A quick sharp run up there, he launches it high and he's accurate with this one as well. So it's a full complement of 7 points now, and it makes it a 1 point game yet again. Jedforest doing a good job in these danger areas to just disjoint this defence as Roth offloads. He manages to make that dog leg, but Cameron Eason was offside in defence. Clark Skeldon goes quickly, he taps, he goes over the line, and Jedforest reclaim the lead here at Philip Hawke as they go in ahead 19 points to 15 now. They're looking to try and now get their platform set. It's Andrew McComb, who looks like he's taking a sore one on his elbow. The kick downfield from Gary Munro is effective, it's good. Callum Anderson gathers, he takes it quickly and feeds Cameron Eason, but the referee is going to bring that back for the line out, believing it's been touched in the technical area there.
It was changed a couple of years ago. Do not deliberately play balls that come near you.
Grieve getting a little bit of a
just about there.
A ticking off there.
Yeah, it was always Jeeves wanted to catch the ball. He felt as if he wanted to be part of it, didn't he?
We'll give you numbers.
A lot of mistakes in there though, a few turnovers backwards and forwards, some tired players in amongst some very fit players in here.
Yeah, 21 points to 15 the visitors currently lead, and it's another accurate line out. The line has been ticking for Selkirk so far as Nixon now looks for a shotgun straight up the middle,
well out, Blue.
And does well centre field to present the ball back, and now Callum Anderson just hoists it into the sky, and this is going to be a challenging one for Glenn to gather, and he made it look also simple on his own 22 under a bit of pressure from the Selkirk players who were on rushing to put a little bit of pressure on the young fullback. Now Harry Meadows, he carries forward back in towards the contact area, but carries a couple of Selkirk players with him, and that's been the story of this first half for Jedforest. It's been taking 2 or 3 players to bring them down. 28 minutes gone here, Selkirk 15, Jedforest 21. And out of their own 22 now, the ball getting through the hands of Clark Skeldon. A little bit of gesture in there from Bambrick at the breakdown, trying to signal to the referee that he wasn't happy with something, as Gary Munro now puts it into the sky for Aaron McComb to test himself, and he makes it look equally as simple as now he offloads to Callum Anderson. 3 players there, he managed to evade the ball, goes back in field, he's got Josh Welsh outside, but he's not going to use him, he's going to use Andrew McComb, and he slides in for a score, and it was brilliantly worked there from Selkirk from deep inside their own half. Aaron McComb gathering the ball, feeding it to Callum Anderson, and eventually Andrew McComb is the player to finish it off, and he shook off that elbow injury.
He certainly has, and I think Callum Anderson's playing at the top of his game just now. I had heard last week that he played really well, and he's already started this game in the first half really well. Good catch, good evasiveness, good strength, and then had the presence of mind to offload and score up a very good try for Selkirk for Andrew McComb.
It's dynamic. He's got to make sure you're down. I'll watch what you mean.
3 tries apiece so far. The visitors leading by a point at Selkirk 20. Jedforest 21. Accurate line out to Donald Nicholl. The body's gathered round and it is opened up for Scott McClymondt on the right hand side. Nobody defending that short side whatsoever. And the captain gets the bonus point try for the home side. It reclaims the lead for the suitors, and it is now Selkirk 25, Jedforest 21.
Very good drive by Selkirk with Scott McClymondt. They almost dummied that driving line out, didn't they? Scott McClymondt realised there was space down that blind side and took it very well. Almost too easy. Kev Barry and Neil Cook and Jeeves will be concerned about that. There's just been a 5-minute spell where Jed have been under pressure and the defence is no held up solid.
Set!
Scrum, competitive again. And Selkirk holding up strong and picked at the back from McComb. And then linked up there as Josh Welsh bursts off his wing. The floating pass is found by Callum Anderson, who just dinks it over the top. Looks to try and chase his own kick, hats it forward. He's now looking to try and beat Glenn on the turn, but he does well to gather the bouncing ball, and now he's trying to break free from his own 22. Not able to, as the Selkirk pressure in defence comes up pretty strong and relentless there as they look to try and protect this lead going into half time. Bambrick away into Ferguson. Ferguson, who was perhaps guilty of that squint line out before, which allowed Selkirk that platform to attack from, trying to do everything to get his team further down the pitch as Harry Meadows now carries. Skeldon with a hand up waiting for the ball. He's got Rough outside. I'm not going to use him this time. He just carries himself forward, dips the shoulder and presents the ball back for Bambrick to give it to Munro, who hoists it into the sky. This is going to be a challenging one for both wingers to gather, but Finlay Whelans does perfectly off of his wing there. A nice pirouette as well out of contact to gather the ball, and now Selkirk have it back. A carry through Jake Milburn making his first start for Selkirk. And now McComb finds McClymondt. Anderson throwing the ball to Nixon. He straightens up the line. He gives it to Andrew McComb now. He carries it forward and then gives it to Josh Welsh. He tries to evade the first challenge and one-handed offload to Aaron McComb, and he goes over the line for a score. And Selkirk extend their lead now 30 points to 21. And that turnover was important. That kick in, the catch in the air from Finlay Whelans allowed that platform for Selkirk to attack from, and that's as lovely a try as you're going to see.
And the understanding to realise that there was space out wide there and to try and get out the back door. Some lovely hands with Andrew McComb there. A beautiful offload by Josh Welsh there, just on the touchline side to bring it back into Aaron McComb to score. Lovely play, back to what Selkirk was like maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago. We're playing that fluent rugby, understanding where the space was and attacking it well.
Cameron Eason is just lining up his conversion attempt a bit further out this time, and odds on this will be the one that he'll nudge over the uprights. Good connection, it is accurate. Has it got the distance? It has. It's a brilliant conversion attempt from the Cameron Eason, and he stretches the lead now. Andrew McComb acting as auxiliary scrum half. He's been omnipresent in this first half. He's been brilliant at the base of that scrum, and also in the loose as Cochrane goes round and finds Andrew McComb, again carrying. Obviously got representative honours with the South at the tail end of last season, and deservedly so. Donald Nicholl now carrying forward. Aaron McComb sizing up the box kick. It's a low one, it's a testing one for Glenn. He's going to watch this one and bobble out off the field of play, and the referee has a quick glance at his baby G watch and says that the first half is finally at an end, and we can take a little bit of a breather. And it means at half time here in the basement battle in the Premiership on game week 3, it is Selkirk 32, Jedforest 21. Selkirk have got that 1 point firmly in the bag, and it's just going to be 40 minutes to see how many more points he can accumulate, and if Jed can get some of their own, because Aaron McComb has got play back underway, kicks it downfield towards the Jedforest 22. It's been returned back to Callum Anderson. Lets it bubble off his chest and gracefully back into his hands. He hoists it into the sky. It is just shy of the 22. It's went over the shoulder of Gary Monroe, who looked to try and gather the ball from the sky, and now into the hands of Glenn. He kicks downfield, and waiting there is Finlay Whelans, but it's just went over his head, and it's again been an interesting start.
I've never seen that before, where chest the ball down. I would have thought, and I'm a referee, but I would have thought that would be a knock on, but I might be wrong. I'll be going back home to have a look at that one just now.
Yeah, you did say it was
brilliant skill.
Footballing days, you know. You probably don't see many Hibs players doing that actually nowadays. So
if it bounced off the chest, I would expect there'd be a knock on, but hey, fair play. Play on.
It's going to be a throw into the line out. It's been brought back, so Selkirk are going to start this second half, 55 seconds in, with a throw in to the line out in a Jedforest 22. Two quick fire scores at the end of that half. It's not found its man there, but Luke Petty has been able to just retrieve the ball as it fell from the sky off the hands of Blade Roth. And now McClyman, he tips on to Cochrane. Cochrane carries forward, supported by McClyman, as McComb feeds to Nixon. Nixon tips on to Grant Sooty. He's already got a try in this game as well. As McComb and Aaron McComb now finds Anderson. He clips his heels and looks to try and go round the outside of the defence, but has been well marshalled.
That steal's good. 13-year-old side and a high tackle.
So a couple of penalties there for Jedforest, and it's going to be
right, no advantage.
Selkirk who benefit. And I think Aaron McComb is probably just going to nudge us in the corner.
Yeah, a good start for Selkirk. Good early line out, a couple of phases of play and a couple of extra tip passes there, just moving that point of contact.
Monroe manages to feed the ball on to Hind. It's Lauder actually who managed to gather that ball and just catapult himself forward through the defensive line. Box kick downfield has been gathered by Cam Eason. Cam Eason then feeds Callum Anderson. Has been signalled with the spaces from the Selkirk technical area. Not using it now because Anderson is arcing his run and then trying to find Finlay Whelans. He looks to try and break free, but Scott Murdoch, one of the replacements on the wing for Jedforest, making his Premiership debut, does a brilliant first effort in this game as he's able to haul down the winger as he charged towards the try line. Finlay Whelan now has to act as scrum half. Connor Ward robotically gets the ball through his arms and finds his target as Fraser Eason looks to carry the ball forward and out the back door, finds Finlay Whelans and links up well, and there's a try there from Selkirk, and it's brilliant skill.
Yeah, really good skill by Fraser Eason. Hat off to him. He took the ball into contact really well, understood he wanted to get that offload there. Beautiful reverse pass into Whelans' hands, and he's in the corner. Very happy young laddie.
Right footed, and the conversion attempt is accurate, and it's through the uprights there to add to the try from Finlay Whelans. And Jedforest get a free kick, and 5 metres shy of the line. The carry forward there from the forwards, linking up well, and now another carry, a big robust carry by Wardrop. Pugnacious character in the back row for Jedforest. They pick round the side, now they go left and look to bundle their bodies over the line. The momentum not able to get them over the whitewash, but they go again. They have another bite at the cake and they're over the line, and it's a try for Jedforest, and they're able to punish the error at the line out for Selkirk, and they squeeze their way over the line and get
Elliot Lauder again.
He's had an impressive introduction to this game.
I reckon Elliot Lauder would have played last night for the seconds as well. Really good performance by him.
Scott McClyman going to the referee. He's tapped it quickly and he's went it alone. There's absolutely no support there for the captain. But they then assemble and they gather round the ball carrier. They've set it up slowly, and the referee signal to Luke Petty where the ball is. They tip it on, and it's a carry, and it's a first try for Jake Milburn. And his first start for Selkirk means that he's got one try in the bag, and it means Selkirk, they took the gamble to go for the quick penalty, but it pays off for the suitors.
Yeah, it's paid off for them. I'm mightily impressed with Jed's defensive display there, and then suddenly there's a one missed tackle and it makes all the difference.
44 points to 28 they lead. This would make it 46-28 and give them a handsome cushion again, as we can see a couple of players on the Jedforest bench readying themselves for action. Eason starts his run up, a right footed kick, and casually as you like, straight through the middle of the uprights, and it's now 46 points to 28, and Cam Eason as well at fly half had a really impressive game.
Penalty advantage.
Advantage coming for Selkirk as well as they try and knock on the door of that 50-point mark. Grant Sooty finds Ross Nixon, and then Whelans has then opened it up and thrown the dummy, and he's going to go in for a brace, arcing his way towards the uprights, but he's not going to make it because he's just been flapped to ground, but he grounds the ball And Selkirk do get over that 50-point mark, and it's now 51 points to 28. Accurate from the line out, stretching the play. It was inventive as well. The loose balls were scrapped up, and then Whelans just goes in for a try.
Sometimes that loose ball can just cause that defence to stutter a wee bit, and that's exactly what happened there.
9 offside.
Bet was offside there, and it's a quick penalty there by Bambrick, and he looked to try and go around the outside of Jamie Turnbull, who did well just to ghost the number 9 into a position as Robbie Shearer-Gibb just hairs his way through the defensive line, arcing towards the corner, and Shearer-Gibb is going to reply straight away.
That is a fantastic try.
Brilliant try there, well worked, great awareness from Bambrick, and they kept the ball alive. But Robbie Shearer-Gibb, if you give him an opportunity like that, that's the sort of pace that he can exhibit.
It was another good long pass by Gary Munro, and Dan Wardrobe, I think, had caught it, created a wee bit of space and passed that inside arc and run to Robbie Shearer-Gibb, who thoroughly deserved his try. He's played well in defence today, Robbie.
The referee happy with the defensive effort from Jedforest as McComb launches the ball to Grant Sooty, who looks to pick the hole. Not able to, as Nixon then floats the ball into the hands of McComb, and then Welsh now heading towards that Jedforest line. He's got an opportunity, he's angling his run towards the try line, and Selkirk score yet again, and the porous defences are running amok here at Philip Hall, because it's now 56 points to 35. I cannot believe the scoreline here. Conversion attempt for Callum Anderson on the 22 again, similar position, and tries to get it closer there, does just that. It's accurate this time. A good conversion attempt from the Selkirk fullback, had for his try earlier on in the game. Jedforest playing expansive rugby, looking to stretch and pointed contact, but it's been picked off by Andrew McComb as the ball was just floated up in the air. He was loitering with intent, clutched the ball and then haired it towards the line, and that is certainly the gloss on what has been an impressive performance here from Selkirk in attack. Maybe not defence, but certainly in attack all afternoon. 63 points to 35, conversion to come. Cameron Eason right in front of the uprights, and he just chips it over. The assistant referees are in agreement that takes Selkirk's tally to 65 points to Jedforest's 35. An emphatic victory here for Selkirk, and they managed to get the win over their near rivals Jedforest, and they managed to put a little bit of daylight in between the two sides at the bottom of the table in the Premiership, and it's Selkirk who win 65 points to 35 here.
Come away from home and score 35 points in the Premiership, it's no easy done, and that's the good side of things, but you can't take away for the negative of the opposite side of the scoreboard. And that's been our Achilles heel for a while, and we've always kind of had that mentality where they'll score 30, we'll score 40, and it just doesn't work like that just now. So we need to work on that side.
Attack takes care of itself. Defensively, we let in 35, which is quite disappointing. We'll go back Tuesday and we'll assess it, watch the video, see where we went wrong. But again, positive day for Selkirk Rugby Club to get 65 points.
We had a good enough pack to take them on up front. I think their kicking game, was a big factor. I thought their 15 kicked really well, and we struggled to get our half at times. And they kind of swamped us in there and got a lot of points before half time, just keeping us in our own half. And but no, when we did build pressure, we were able to score points, and that's what we're looking to do. But in the end, probably they built the pressure and scored the most points. Yeah,
credit to Jed scoring 35 points. I thought they really played quite good rugby in about 35 just after half time as well. I think physicality, they kind of got to us a wee bit. But again, they played some good stuff out wide. They're probably on the same boat as us, struggling for a team week in, week out. But credit to them at the end of the day. They played some good stuff, stretched us, played tight. But credit to them again.
The hardest thing for me is I think it's a lack of effort. I think there's a lot of boys out there who are happy to fly into tackles and that. It's just that collective cohesionness and try to defend together instead of individual, which we've maybe been guilty in the past. I think it's wrong, we're missing a lot of key players. There's boys playing out of position today. I'll not blame that too much. There's a lot of individual tackles went astray today, but I think it's just that cohesion, defending together. That their outside backs had a field day today, but it's something we'll have to work on going forward.
You hear all the stories, Selkirk, Jed will struggle this year, and we probably will, but to get 65 points, play some good stuff and click as a team today is really positive for Selkirk Rugby Club. We go back Tuesday, as I say, and build again and go tomorrow next week. It'll not be easy. Any game in this league's not going to be easy. So I would just build again from Tuesday.
What we've got today, you see young Mark Glenn, Scott Murdoch coming back in. They're the kind of boys we need to nurture for the future. So it's good to see them getting a run, and And it has got to be a kind of season where the boys are going to have to learn on the job. You know, young Jamie Ferguson at hooker the day, you know, he's learning every week, and these boys will get better. You know, I'm not too worried about the boys coming back, to be honest. I think you have to stick with these boys and give them opportunities and get them better. You know, and try and build that way, because it will come. You know, give these boys time, it'll come. I believe that. We said before this weekend that today and next week were going to be massive for us to try and build some momentum into the season. You know, it's well, you can look at it, we've gained a point today, it's a start, but going into next week we need to try and pick up maximum points, and you know, back at home we will be boosted by a couple of additions hopefully, so yeah, back in front of the rain crowd, back at Riverside, hopefully we can go into that and get something. Again, we'll be confident we can go out and score tries, so as long as we can try and work on that defence, hopefully get something for that game as well.
So it was end-to-end tries here at Philip Hawke today with 100 points scored. But it was Selkirk who took the victory 65-35. However, both teams do get some points in the league this week. Next week we're off to the Greenyards where it's Melrose taking on Ayr. Hope you can join us then. But for now, cheerio.